In this video, what I thought I would do was show some techniques about how we use a knife properly and the most common ways in which we would use a knife to trim a branch such as this to whichever way we want it. So the first one is the most common and it's called a forehand grip, and we use it simply like that with the blade pointing towards the knuckle on our index finger, and it's quite powerful. And with it, it's very easy to put points on a stick. So that one's the forehand, and that's probably the most common grip that we use. The next most common grip is the chest lever grip, and we use it slightly different. What we use is the knife pointing towards the knuckle, the blade of the knife pointing towards the knuckle, with our thumb over the top of the blade, on the side of the knife I should say. And what we use this for is for powerful but controlled cuts. So when we cut, we don't just use our arm with the knife in, we also pull the stick with the other arm, so you're sort of cutting into it. But because it's so close to your chest, it's very controlled and you can see what you're doing, so it's very accurate because the knife's not flying everywhere, so it's safe. The next grip I'm going to show you is the reinforced grip, and essentially you hold it the same way you'd hold a backhand grip. So like if that's the forehand grip, the backhand grip is the knife in reverse, and the way we make this cut is we put our thumb over the piece of work so the blade is then pointing towards us, but rather than pulling straight through, what you do is you sort of turn it away, so you're never cutting towards your thumb. And you do get quite a lot of control and power with this because you're using your thumb as well to push down on the work. So the grip that we use least of all is the backhand grip, and that's where you have the blade facing into you. So if I stand sideways you might be able to see that the blade's facing straight at my arm, and the only time we really use this is if we're cutting something like a piece of string where somebody else has got hold of it. And the reason we do it this way is that because we're using the knife, the blade's then pointing towards us and we've got all the control. So if we ever have to pass on knife to anybody, then what we do, holding it in the forearm grip, we then just pivot it up and then pass it to them. So then when they take it, the blade's away from us, it's not going to slice us, and they've got hold of the handle then. So it's safe for everybody.
To demonstrate some of these techniques, I'm going to make some simple tent pegs. To do this, we first start by putting points on each end of the stick. We do this preferably using 3 clean cuts, but as this stick was a little bit tough, I had to go around it a few extra times just to get a point. Then using the chest lever grip, we make a small series of cuts right around the stick. This grip is very powerful, and because it's very close into your chest, you can see what you're doing, and it's also very controlled. So we go all the way around the stick, then we turn the stick around and go in at the other way. And once we've been round a couple of times, we'll then just simply be able to snap the twig in half. And then tidying up the end to give us a nice clean base for tapping it into the ground. The chamfer then just prevents the tent pegs from splitting when hammered into the ground using an axe. And there we have 2 simple tent pegs demonstrating how to use a knife correctly.